Hi, all. All right, I'm going to just give people 1 second if anyone's going to join. Hi, I'm Emily Benson, and I'm so excited to be here. I'm a career coach with EmilyBensonPhD.com, and I've been studying and learning about careers for over 20 years. I started out in the HR and recruiting fields. In my academic research, I studied careers, and I've been a career coach for about 6 years now. So I'm just thrilled to be offering this series of free Facebook Live videos. Check out my other ones. I'll link to it in the comments afterwards. But I have a recent one, 5 actions guaranteed to advance your career. That has some important skills that I talk about there, skills and actions that you can take that will really start to advance your career. And today I want to talk about negotiation, which is such a critical skill. And it doesn't just benefit us, right? When we use our negotiation skills, use the tool of negotiation, it also benefits our families, right? It's such an important thing to get regular raises, to be regularly increasing our salary for the benefit of our families, and also for the benefit of other people in our organizations. You know, it's not just about us getting the highest career for ourselves or the highest salary for ourselves, but it helps raise the bar for everyone in the organization. When managers and leaders, understand our worth, then they can understand the worth of other people as well, and pay everyone what they deserve, which really benefits the whole organization, right? A healthy organization pays employees what they're worth. So if you have questions about negotiation, please put them in the comments. Even if you're not watching this live, I will go back and answer all the comments, and I would love to engage with you about any questions about your career in general, but also negotiation. Because negotiation is a tough one. And women tend to avoid it. Studies show, we don't do it as often as women, partly because we, undervalue ourselves to begin with. Sometimes we don't realize it's an option. A lot of studies have shown that women feel less in control of their career than men do. So it's really, it's important to take control and to start to feel some control, and to understand that we can go into a negotiation process at any time, right? And engage with employers and show them our worth, and have that discussion. So a couple of reasons why negotiating regular salary upgrades is so important. If you negotiate a $5,000 raise every 3 years for the next 12 years, and put that money into an account that makes 3.5% interest, in 16 years you'll have more than $85,000 in that account, right? So smaller raises really add up and increase your they just make your financial position better for your whole family, right? We're talking college educations here, retirement funds. It's critical that we have those regular increases, and employers should be held accountable for giving those. Another really important reason to think about negotiation is new employers will probably ask about previous salaries when they are setting your current salary. So, if you're being undervalued in your previous job, it's likely that newer employers won't respect you as much, won't value you as highly going forward. So you'll continue to get paid at that lower rate. Right, so you really want to make sure that your salary matches up with your value. And I'll talk about a little bit about how to figure out what that is. Women don't do it because, we're still fighting the patriarchy. These are structures that we're working within, that were created by men for men. And there's a lot of implicit bias that we're still dealing with in the workplace. So it's so important that we understand that managers are actually using pretty subjective criteria when they are evaluating our employees. So we need to understand that so that we engage in that negotiation process regularly. Negotiation is just a tool. You know, we have all these fears about it. We fear that people will judge us, that we'll make a mistake of some sort, that, you know, we won't get what we're asking for, so we avoid it. But if we kind of just really think about it as a tool for change, when we want to change and we need to get someone else's buy-in, we have to negotiate. But if you write down your fears around negotiation and understand that they're just fears and they will pass, and the end result is what you're going for, then that can help you sort of move through your fears of this process of change and, you know, and get that end result that's so important, not just for you, but also for your family and other people in your organization, as I mentioned. Employers are pressured to keep salaries low because that, you know, is what keeps profit higher, right? Keeping expenses like salaries a little bit lower and while raising revenues, that increases profits. So there are pressures on their end to keep your salary at a lower end, but that doesn't mean that you can't come to win-win solutions when you engage in negotiation processes. It just means you have to really illustrate your value so clearly to employers, right? You really have to show them that you're worth what you think you're worth. And you have to be willing to engage in collaborative bargaining. So that means understanding that there may be solutions that you haven't thought of yet, and you're willing to work together and have a meeting of the minds about a solution that will work for both of you. So to understand your value to the organization, you have to talk to people. You have to talk to other people in your organization and really think about what they're getting paid, you know, what are salaries across the board in your organization, and then think about, you know, all the sales that you've brought into your organization, money that you've saved the organization, right? Did someone leave and you've taken on their tasks, right? That is money for the organization. That is money that's going towards the profit end of the equation, right? So yes, they need to increase your salary, but you are doing a lot to increase profits and reduce expenses at the same time that more than makes up for this increase that you're asking for. You also really need to understand your market value. Right, what can you make in other similar jobs in your industry? So that requires some research online. I'll post some links in the comments here for great resources for that. And again, talking to people, talking to peers in your industry, get out there and network, talk to recruiters in your industry. They'll have some insight into what you could really make bringing your current skill set into another organization. And that's a great tool to have in your toolkit when you go into a negotiation, really understanding what your market value is if you left the organization. So I'll put those links in the comment. You know, you want to really think about what's at stake for the other person here when you're going into negotiation, right? What pressures are they dealing with to keep expenses lower? And if you're blindsiding them, understand that, right? Sometimes employers can feel hurt and embarrassed in a negotiation process. So you want to think about those feelings and try to kind of match the person where they're at when you're thinking about negotiation, right? Think about doing it in a neutral location, maybe not their office or your office, but somewhere where the power structure isn't right there, maybe a coffee shop or a conference room, something where it'll be comfortable for both of you and sort of make you feel like peers rather than in this in a particular power dynamic. So that's important to think about before you go into the negotiation as well, right? So you're thinking about your value to the organization, what you're bringing in terms of profit, ways that you're reducing expenses, extra things you've taken on since you've gotten the job. You've done a lot of research into your market value and what other people are being paid in the organization. You're thinking about their position, right, and the pressures that they have, and you're finding a neutral location to do the negotiation. Okay, so you have all of that set up and you've really planned this out well. And you can, you know, think about not blindsiding them. Send an email beforehand, preparing them for the discussion. I really want you to not wait until you're overly frustrated with your job to go into the negotiation process, right? You want to start from a place of being calm and feeling powerful and feeling like you're willing to collaborate. If you go in angry, frustrated, really unhappy, it's going to be a lot harder to have a good outcome. So go in, before you're unhappy. It's in the organization's best interest to pay you a price where you'll be happy. So you're not asking for something unreasonable here. Don't put it off until you're angry. One last tip too. Make sure that you have thought through everything you want before going into negotiation process, right? And negotiate it all as one package. So think long and hard about everything that you want, right? So salary, bonuses, benefits, start dates, vacation, sick time, being able to work from home, flexible hours, managing moving expenses, sign-on bonuses. Do you need a space for breast pumping? Can you bring your baby to work? Bring your dog to work? You want to think about everything you want beforehand so you can negotiate it all as one package when you go in. And it's important that you ask for what you want or even more than what you want in this negotiation process, right? You don't want to settle for less. That's not good for anybody. If you end up feeling like you've been taken advantage of, that hurts the organization too. They're not going to get your best work if you're feeling frustrated, taken advantage of, angry. So remember that this process isn't just good for you. It's important for the organization too, and for your managers to really understand how they can make you satisfied and happy in your job, because that's when you're going to be productive and efficient and content in your job, right? So, just to recap, small salary increases are really critical for your long-term financial position. So it's not just about you, it's about your whole family. And, you want to gain respect from future employers too, and that means raising your perceived value now. And remember that it's not just about you, right? It's about other people too. When you raise the bar for your salary, it raises the bar for people below you in the organization and allows other women who are coming up behind you to make more and be correctly valued in the workplace as well. Okay, so I hope this really helps you get in a place where you can think about doing some collaborative bargaining before you're angry and frustrated. And I would love to help you through any salary negotiation processes that you have on your coming up or that you want to do. And please, again, ask questions in the comments here. Even if you're not watching live, I'm happy to answer them at any point. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for joining me here.